All right. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Tomboy Official. On this podcast, we talk about gender and LGBTQ plus topics and sexuality. So today I wanted to talk about something. It might be kind of weird. I don't know. I hope I don't get either canceled or, whatever. I hope they don't just come for this channel and totally just delete everything. But the topic I wanted to talk about is, I guess technically like adult actors, adult porn stars, whatever you want to call them. There's something that I kind of came across that I think I've mentioned before, but I don't know. As I'm driving to LA right now from San Diego and re-listening to an Ashley Gavin podcast where Brianne Williamson and Mac Ingemi are on there. It's the second one that Mac Ingemi was on. I don't know why. I just had this thought because they were making this joke about. I mean, it was kind of a joke, but it wasn't serious. But they were talking about a nature blog called Dry Humping Between the Cherry Blossoms as the next lesbian hit film. I mean, it was just a comedic kind of comment based on one of the stories that Ashley was telling about her dating experience and kind of her enjoyment with dry humping and her sexual experiences. Anyways, but I don't know, somehow in my mind, I think it's because I'm thinking about the gym. And when I arrive in my city in LA, I'm gonna get a car wash, probably at a Shell station, even though Shell's a questionable company. But anyways, I'm gonna get a car wash there, as well as a little bit of gasoline, and then I'm probably gonna see if I get a little bit of a pre-workout so I can hit the gym for maybe an hour. I think I'm gonna do 3 or 4 15-minute sets of just strength. I don't know if I even want to add cardio. I kind of just want to get strength in. But we'll see. I don't really know. We'll see. But I was kind of thinking about the gym like that and thinking about, okay, I've got about 5 or 6 more weeks till I can probably go snowboarding. So I need to start. I mean, I've already been trying to train, but I started thinking about how certain content, specifically, I don't know why I get motivated by Helix Studios content. I don't know why. It's kind of a weird thing. Maybe it's not. I don't want to say it's weird, but it's a little something that people don't really talk about this much. But so Mac Ingemi isn't an adult porn star. This has nothing to do with Helix, but I'm gonna go back to talking about Helix too. So Mac Ingemi isn't a porn star. Mac Ingemi is a content creator, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and has these workouts on there. Not a workout channel, but there are some projects that Mac tried. I know there was a Tomb Raider one, and there was a Terminator one, taking the some of those kind of, I don't know if you call it superhero or kind of, what do you call like Terminator and Tomb Raider and those guys? I guess they're not superheroes, but they're like, I don't know, like sci-fi, fantasy, kind of some hardcore women that are like really fit. And Mac did some projects of becoming like doing the training programs that those actors did. So I kind of really liked that. Like seeing that Mac and Jimmy did those. Like I watched those were, I don't know if those were some of the first of Mac's content that I came across, but I liked it because I found it very motivating. I thought it was really cool, like to see someone who identifies as a lesbian or a queer person just on there, like doing some strong things. I mean, it takes a lot of mental toughness, a lot of courage to be even posting like anything related to like body image, like on the internet. And then Mac has other content as well about the gym and eating, like certain meals that they eat, and then the gym. I mean, you routinely see Mac and Mac's sister, Mattia, going to the gym like pretty often, like when they're just doing their routine vlogs. You see them like rock climbing or going to do certain workouts at the gym, or like coming home and eating like healthy, like maybe like a stir fry or a scramble, or like some oats or some protein kind of shakes. And it's pretty cool. I really like it. I really like seeing that. I'm like, dude, it's cool to see, you know? Like, I don't know why it kind of like pumps me up a little bit, you know, to see like queer people like just talking about like healthy things. And like, I don't know why, like, because I've been having so much trouble with motivation with like exercise and all that kind of stuff for a pretty long time. Like, I was pretty shocked that over summer I wasn't very athletic. And I mean, I don't want to be like harping on like the negativity part, but for people who may not have really been tuned in this whole time, you guys probably know that my snowboard season last season was pretty great as far as being able to work remotely. So being able to get up to the mountains more on weekdays because they had night boarding, so I could log off after work, and then at 4, and then still had till 10 p.m. to be able to get up to the mountains. So I really was enjoying, you know, that aspect of things. And so, yeah, so I liked that I tried to do a lot of good snowboarding last season, but honestly, last season was the most out of shape I've ever been. The reason why I noticed that was mostly my flexibility in my legs, my hips. I was noticing like it was really kind of challenging to get the form down because of, you know, my hips, my lower back, my you know, my legs, just like my glutes, my what do you call it, like thighs, like all of it was just not I was not conditioned compared to the year before when I went to Taos Resort in New Mexico. I was pretty conditioned then, and I was literally on like probably the 2 weakest days of the month for me, because usually when I get periods, it's like I can't really eat properly. I can't really hydrate properly. I can't really sleep properly. And I was out of town, you know, that kind of stresses my body for a while too, being like a little bit of travel there, and so the you know, I wasn't everything was a little out of whack, as well as, you know, dealing with cramps and fatigue, and you know, like, I don't remember having severe cramps because I was just being active for 2 days, but it was the first 2 days of a period, and that was not pleasant. And trying to snowboard like that, and dealing with the elevation, and just a new resort, and it was just a hard season. And I was conditioned enough to do that. Like, I was like, you know, like, the first 2 days of my period are usually the worst ones. If I am going to get cramps, it's usually within that first 24-hour period. You know, usually it's not that good. I can't just, like, eat whatever or, like, do whatever. It affects my sleep. It gets kind of off. And the time, I think the time was a little different in New Mexico than it is in Southern California. And so, you know, there was just a lot of things, and we were there for only, like, I think we flew in one day, and then the next day I went snowboarding with the whole crew, and then the day after that it was just me and one of my friends. So on one of my heaviest days, this is too much information maybe, but one of my heaviest days was one of my most active snowboarding days, and I can kind of track periods, and so I know, like, I can count the days, like, every 24th day pretty much. I usually give it a buffer of 21 to 24, but it like, just in case I'm off a day or so, but usually, like, every 24th day. So I kind of have it marked when it's supposed to come up, and so I knew it was gonna happen, but I was like, maybe it won't, but I was pretty sure it would. But I was like, but just maybe it might be a day late, and I might be, you know, because sometimes it's like, I don't know, like, basically that's just, I was like, well, I don't want to miss out on this trip, especially because, you know, it was during the pandemic, hadn't done anything for, like, ages. I don't think I was able to snowboard. I think 2020 season I was able to go, wasn't I? Maybe once or twice I went, I can't remember. But then 2022, I think I only went once or twice, and then to Taos for two consecutive days of snowboarding. And then so that was my whole, I think that was my whole season for 2021. And so, or 20, oh my gosh, I'm so screwed up with the years. Yeah, so 2021 April I went, and then the 2021 to 2022 season was the worst season for me. So I went, like, but it was the best as far as having time, having money, having passes. So I had a season pass to Mountain High. I had an Icon pass, a 4-day, added on to my Mountain High pass. It has a name, I can't remember the name, but it's like a pass that you add on to your Mountain High season pass that's a discounted Icon pass. So I got that one, and then I don't know how many times I went up, but I went up a lot. I was there at, within 20 minutes from the mountain. I was there more days than I actually snowboarded because my anxiety was high about it. I was super just like, I remember I recorded about it. I don't know if it was on this podcast, but I recorded, and I remember being like, just so like, one day just being like, just giving myself permission to just not go, you know, just not drive up to the resort. Like, I was so just like overwhelmed about the drive and like the lifts and how I was feeling, and like I was just nervous about it for some reason. And I remember almost being like, I think I was actually tearful about it. I don't remember if I was or not, but I think I was, because I was like, I've never had this experience with like a sport before where I'm just like just so like not pumped up about something that I spent money to do, that I have done for multiple years, that I love, you know. So I was just surprised that I was just not feeling too great about this. But you know, I was just I don't know. I was just having a really hard time. That was a hard year for me. And I think it's because I was not training at all. I was out of shape and everything. So, like, of course, I wasn't going to feel my best. But I'd never had that experience before. And I was just like, what is wrong with me? Like, something's up, you know? Like, so I had a lot of things going on for sure. But from late November, going all the way until April of 2022. And so that's when my season ended. And that was the worst season for me. That was the worst season, even though I had gone up probably more times than ever since, like, maybe my college years, when I used to go up only nights for like $25 to $35 with some friends, and we'd get in like 2 or 3 hours every now and then. But yeah, I went up quite a few times for consecutive days. I could afford it. There was a lot that was different last season that would have been ideal if I was conditioned. I would have gotten in like probably some of the best, maybe not the best snow in my life, but some of the best actual availability and financial, you know, like that is something that was usually making it so I couldn't go. Because weekends as well, it's hard to go up snowboarding when it's just weekends, because it's so crowded. It makes me less motivated. There's traffic, parking sucks, you know, it gets super crowded, and it's a small mountain. I prefer weekdays. And also you have to think about, you know, the roads. Like, if you're a person like me, you know, who's not consistently driving in snow, I'm driving this old, like, 20-year-old car. It's like, you don't want to be, like, stranded up in the mountains or having some old car having to get towed all the way back. And, like, my car is, like, literally on its last leg. So this season I'm probably even going to have to just get a rental every time or something, which is maybe lame, but it's like, whatever. I'm not going to try to, like, push this car. It's already pushing enough driving to and from San Diego, but I mean, I feel like with the weather conditions and then the mountain drive, even though it's not too far up the mountain, I might not drive this car every single time, especially if it's maybe longer trips. I don't know, it's going to be more money out of my pocket. I don't really like that idea, but actually this car's not so good on gas either, so if I get like a hybrid rental, I might actually even out. I might actually save on the gas if I can get it from like the airport or something, like LAX airport or something like that. I don't know. I gotta think this through more. But yeah, I'm thinking back to that, and I'm like, I got injured just from, you know, the motions of like how you have to, like, how you move your arms and your core. Like, I was getting back injuries, shoulder injuries, like severe. Like, it was probably partially stress too, because I was definitely overwhelmed by you know, a client I was working with that was like super intense. And then it just, you know, like whenever I travel and go out of town a little bit, it can be a little bit stressful for me. And then I just wasn't conditioned enough, and so that was just pretty disappointing, to have all those other things aligned so perfectly, and then have that year just be such a bust, you know, like as far as like being able to actually do it. Like, I actually got some new gear, I actually had, you know, the time, the energy, the money, the desire, the motivation, but I just didn't go up a lot. And so that was lame. that was lame. Like, I could have done better. That was lame. But yeah, I got some video footage out of it. That's another thing that motivates me, is just like the creative aspect, because that's what I started liking when I first started snowboarding, was just making videos of my friends and making videos of all of our crew, just hitting the slopes and stuff and just getting out there. And like, I really liked snowboard videos and rock climbing videos. Those were two of my favorite things that I really enjoyed, just making videos with my friends and stuff. So I was never actually in the sport. Like, I wasn't like so into rock climbing, but it was easy to just go into the rock gym and then like take the videos and stuff, whatever. And so basically all that, fast forward all the way till now, I've got almost about a month until my snowboard season is going to open up. I think Mammoth, I didn't check the weather, but I heard Mammoth was supposed to get snow this past weekend. And I think Solitude in Utah. So I don't know. I was actually debating on taking an early season trip to Utah. I don't know, guys. That sounds a little that sounds like a lot. But I might go snowboarding soon. I might try and see how that would look. But I don't really know. It's a lot of money. It would require a plane. It would require a plane. It would require a rental car and lodging. And I still need to get my Icon Pass. And so that's a lot of money to try to swing right now. But I think I might do it. I mean, if I do it, it might be a late season or an early season trip, because, I might just wait to see what the local season's weather looks like. It's just, the resort that I usually go to is so small. But also, I don't care. Like, it's kind of like, I don't care. Like, it's small, but I'm like, I don't care. I want to do it, so I'll do it, I've already got the passes, so I'm going to do it anyways. But, yeah, just the amount of times I got injured last season, and without even actually, doing anything. Like, I wasn't falling. Nobody was, like, running into me. I wasn't hitting rails or jumps. I wasn't, twisting an ankle or like hyperextending anything. Like, there was nothing like that. It was just literally like posture and stance. Like, I couldn't even, my body couldn't cope with it. And I was, it kind of made me a little bit sad. I'm like, dang, man, like, I didn't work out for a bit of the year, and then I was just like destroyed. Like, I would go up some days and I couldn't even do the consecutive like next day because I was just in so much pain. And I had to start traveling with this back massager. Those little like shiatsu massagers that you can like Velcro to a chair or whatever, and just like lean onto it or whatever, or even like lay on top of it for more pressure. And so anyways, yeah, I noticed that one thing that kind of gets me motivated, other than those Mac Injami videos, just seeing somebody that I follow regularly on social media, to see, people just getting in their workouts and stuff. And then I also get motivated by, by Helix Studios, porn stars, adult entertainers, I don't know what you want to call them, but, there's something about their content. So, I don't mind, like, exposing myself on some things. I've subscribed to their content before to see, like, kind of, because there were some actors that I was kind of just interested in. Like, I'd seen a lot of their interviews and stuff, and they recorded a lot of stuff with Davey Wavy, through like Himeros and his Wicked Cool YouTube channel, and they had recorded a lot of content on there, and I was just kind of interested because their personality seemed so cool. I was like, okay, these guys are like pretty cool, you know. I kind of like their the way that they are, and how they're like comfortable in themselves, and kind of like there was something I was getting out of like their content. Like I found it very like a very positive experience. Just the interviews alone, or just like not even necessarily watching the porn necessarily, like, but that kind of got me it got me interested in those hashtag Helix videos, and then, you know, just seeing people just being comfortable, gay people being comfortable with sexuality, but not in like a weird kind of like intrusive way, or in some kind of like, I wouldn't even call it hypersexualized, even though it's porn content. I wouldn't call it hypersexualized, because I do notice that sometimes, you know, as a queer person, when you talk to maybe non-queer people, sometimes you do get this kind of weird, like intrusive kind of inappropriateness where people just start being all up in your business about your sexuality, and like, you know, like, are you having sex with people, or who did you have sex with, and what did you do when you did it, and all. It's kind of like stuff that's like, okay, like, bro, like, we are basically just waiting for our other friends and grabbing coffee and a Danish. Like, I wasn't trying to like talk about my sex life, but I don't think, I mean, and not even in a way to be like ashamed about it, but I'm just saying, like, in a way to be like not ashamed, but more like just, you know, like, we're humans too, you know, like not treated equally, you know. Like, I feel like it's not like a thing about being ashamed about talking about it, but it's like, I feel like some of those people who ask those questions to queer people, like those hypersexualized questions where it just seems like, oh, they must be thinking about and having sex all the time, like their whole entire life revolves around sex, and all I think about when I see queer people or think about queer people is about sex, you know. It's kind of like, you know, like if you were getting to know like a straight person, if this person was getting to know like a straight person or cis person or whatever, they probably wouldn't be just like going in on like the sex related topics. They'd have other stuff to talk about, other stuff to say. And so that's kind of what I mean when I say like the hypersexualized, like, not that it's wrong to talk about sex all the time or think about it or do it or whatever, but just that, you know, it's not, sometimes people don't evenly treat queer people when they're talking to them the same way that they would treat other non-queer people when they're talking to them. And sometimes they just have all these like questions about sex and stuff, and that's kind of just, it can just get really weird. And so I kind of like through like watching the Helix Studios, the hashtag Helix interviews, how they were kind of like, the actors were kind of just like open, but, you know, like they were comfortable, and I was just kind of like, oh, like, it's kind of interesting to see people, like gay people in a gay vibe with other gay people, just talking and just like connecting and just having these cool, you know, relationships. And, you know, that kind of got me into, you know, kind of like some other random content that, you know, they're kind of like active people. They talk a lot about what they do. Like, some of them were into like baseball and hiking and all that kind of stuff, where I was like, okay, that's really awesome. Like, you know, and I found it just motivating, because it's like, well, you know, a lot of these, it's mostly like a twink company for the most part. I don't want to say 100%, but for the most part, Helix is usually, their actors tend to be twinks, twink cis males, for the most part. And then, which is fine. I mean, that's what they're catering to. The people who are consuming that content want that content. And then, so ever since then, I don't subscribe anymore just because I don't want to pay more. But I mean, for people who are into that kind of stuff, if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, I would recommend it if you're of age to watch that kind of thing. I just found I was surprised that I found it motivating for working out and exercise and health, just seeing healthy people who seem healthy and smart and intelligent and socially and emotionally aware and comfortable gay people. Usually the stories that we hear and the stories that we are in our lives and everything, a lot of times, it's stories of trauma and stories of anxiety and paranoia and just inequality. And I'm not saying those things aren't real. Those are definitely real things. But it's cool to see gay, fit, healthy, successful, young, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with being sexually interested in twinks or whatever. But I'm just saying I just like their energy. And how they were kind of talking about things, and I'm these guys basically have their own brand, and it's healthy. I feel like it's healthy, even though people have their different viewpoints about sex and porn and things like that. And of course, with all things, if anything is pleasure related, there is always that risk of addiction and some problems related to it. But I do notice how I feel after I watch comedy or after I watch, not even necessarily watching porn for sexual reasons, but watching just interviews of porn stars and things like that, just to see people having good social and emotional connections and viewpoints about health and how they have a healthy diet, how they know their bodies, how they communicate, how they interact with and make friends and maintain their relationships and friendships, and how they're financially wealthy and all these kind of things that I look at and I'm wow, in a way they are role models, and I was kind of thinking about that, and I was yeah, whenever I do consume some of that content or whatever, I do feel motivated to work out and focus on my health more and be yeah, I want to be a gay, fit, athletic, healthy person. I don't want to be all I don't want to have experiences like I had last snowboard season of where I can get injured just by rolling out of bed, or just get injured by, I bent down too fast to pick up my snowboard bag, and now I have 3 weeks that I have to limp around because my back is sore, and then my hip is compensating, and now my leg is hurting, and it's I'm getting closer to the 40 age range, but I'm also not that old to a point where I should be having hip and back and all these other weird kind of issues. And so I'm and that just happened almost within a 2-year period. And I'm that's not me. That's not me. That's a side of me that I've never gotten to before, that I feel I've gotten out of that. And I don't want to go back there again. I tried it. It happened. I didn't like it. It didn't work for me. I spent multiple months just feeling sore and feeling bad and feeling hurt and feeling I was missing out on things. Sometimes I had, a certain friend that I like to hang out with a lot that, often we hang out at the beach or park or whatever. And sometimes they want to go hiking, and I noticed I would avoid hiking. I would avoid certain types of activities that I actually love, just because I was a little bit maybe ashamed, embarrassed, okay, what if I can't do it? And people who know me know that I kind of go to the gym sometimes, and like, you know, they know that I'm not like a complete couch potato. And so I don't want to be like in that position where I can't just like up and just, you know, do what I need to be doing, or try to, you know, do tasks on the fly. Like the last time, you know, when I was at one of the stadiums, one of the venues, amphitheaters, I guess it's an amphitheater, in Chula Vista to see Rufus Du Sol, and I was with a close friend of mine, and, you know, we were walking to our ride. Another close friend who gave a ride, who was very, very nice, and that was very, very, very awesome and cool of them. And they were being patient with me. I was being a little like, I mean, I had some substances in my system, so I wasn't really like, I feel like there were some things that I was not being too understanding on, maybe. Like, I don't know, I wasn't being a jerk, but there's some, I don't know, whatever. I think I was being a little bit annoying at a certain point, but it's not a big deal. It didn't like ruin the friendship or cause any like major issues or anything, but, you know, I could have been a little more chill. But I remember we were walking, and we started to walk towards the car, and there was a lot of uphill walking, and I started realizing, like, because I didn't know how far we were going to walk, and so my friend's like apologizing, like, oh, I'm sorry, we have to like walk, you know, I didn't realize it was going to be this far. And then I think maybe we went the wrong way, or maybe the directions didn't, I don't know, because you know how sometimes the maps, like, you can't tell which direction to actually go until you're kind of slightly in motion. Like, sometimes it's a little hard to tell like what is actually happening until you move, and then it tells you right or left or whatever. And so my friend was like navigating us to walk to the car, and I was like, you know, and they were walking kind of fast, and it was late, and I was like, you know, I feel like we walked like a mile, and that's fine, but it's like after I'd already been like, it was a late day, it was a little bit of a stressful day, and then you have the energy from the concert. I had a lot of substances in my system, and then a mile walk with a lot of hills involved, and I didn't know how long we were going to be walking. Like, it was kind of like, I was like, I don't want those types of experiences to be like, oh man, like I'm out of shape to do this. I'm out of shape to take a 1 mile walk, you know, and it wasn't even that hilly, like it wasn't like steep hills, but we were walking a little bit fast, and, you know, I was a little high, so it was kind of like, I was kind of in slow-mo kind of mindset too, so I wasn't really like pumped up to be like moving quickly, and it was like way past my bedtime after probably like 11 p.m. But even that, and I was in, was it October? I think it was during this month of October. I don't know, maybe it was in September. I think it was in this month of October. I want to say it was like October 11 or something. But anyways, yeah, it was like a Wednesday night concert or whatever. And then, yeah, like, stuff like that where I'm just like, it's a little bit embarrassing, you know? You don't want to be like, oh, can we slow down? Because we're walking too fast. I'm tired. You know, it's like, you know, like there's that part of I kind of get a little bit of an ego about athletic things, or like, I don't want to be able to not walk like half a mile or 1 mile just on the fly. Walking, like we're not even running or whatever, but it's like just walking, you know. I was almost like, I was a little out of breath, but, you know, I was a little like, it was a nice walk though. I mean, we should have done it. But we had been dancing at the concert and stuff too for a couple hours, and like, you know, it was a little tiring. But I'm like, dude, like I've got these friends that are like athletic, you know, they play soccer, they do rowing, they run at the beach, they go on a lot of hikes, they're into baseball, they're into all kinds of sports, and, you know, it's a good way to connect with people, and I don't want to be like sluggish and like all out of shape and like can't take a walk with my friends, you know what I mean? Like, if we have to walk to the car or go to a concert and park far and then walk to the venue, I don't want to be like, I'm out of breath, you know? But I mean, I feel like during the summer, I mean, we had some times where, you know, I was able to get in some good dancing and at some concerts and things and like stuff like that. And like, you know, I'm improving, but I have had some injuries again, like a couple times, and I keep telling myself this, but I do plan on getting checked before I go snowboarding this season. But I'm a little, honestly, this is stupid to say, but I'm a little bit like embarrassed to go to a doctor to be like, look, I've been having this weird ass like back trouble for like over a year off and on whenever I get back into working out and stuff, and like my body feels like aged. It feels like real aged, and it's like it's not scary more than it's just annoying and just like, how could I have let things get to this kind of thing? But I mean, I kind of let things go. I really did. I kind of let things get a little bit out of control there during the pandy, and I know I did. That's more so what it was. So you know, let's chalk it up to some of that pandy, you know, pandy learning experiences. And you know, I'm on good footing now, heading to the gym. It's like the longest trip to the gym to drive like 2 hours just to get to where the gym is. But then I got to study and like work on my websites and stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely, you know, I'm also, I don't know, there's a lot. If you guys are listening to these episodes, there's a lot that I have going on that I try to post about this journey that I've been on. The pandy journey, the post-pandy journey, and now we're in that post-pandy journey. Right now, I'm just trying to, you know, work on my health on all around, full circle, total balance, and I'm definitely feeling the difference, noticing the difference, seeing the difference. My mind is, you know, I'm getting a lot improved mindset. My focus is changing to be better. You know, I'm making better decisions. I do notice, so before I eat anything in the mornings, I am noticing my body looks a little more fit compared, like I want it to look. Like, it does look a little bit more fit. I do notice that more now. But yeah. But I'm just trying to enjoy myself. I am enjoying myself, but I'm trying to like enjoy myself. I'm trying to like make sure I'm you know, getting in proper exercise, proper diet. I don't know. Like, I'm really just trying hard, guys. But yeah. I don't know what more I really wanted to say, but overall, I mean, I really appreciate you guys listening to this. I know I rant a lot about stuff, and I know I have a lot to say, but you know, lately I've been feeling pretty good and pretty excited, and I thought maybe sharing this might be helpful for some people. Sometimes it's like, it's easy to get in a rut. It's hard to get out of it. You know, it only takes really like a little bit of time, like a couple days or so of just like maybe going out for drinks and then staying out a little too late and then not sleeping good and binge watching some stuff and doing all this stuff that's like for comfort and excitement and just to like feel like a void and like feel a little bit better. You know, but maybe it's not the healthiest decisions. We all deal with that sometimes, with like maybe having some drinks or binge watching some show that, you know, maybe impacts sleep, or, you know, just getting sleep out of whack and then powering through with coffee and stuff like that. And then, skipping workouts and eating McDonald's and all this kind of stuff that just sounds like a cool idea to do, and then all of a sudden just being like, how did I get here? How did I get so out of whack with things? Getting out of shape, getting, just not feeling good. How did I get here? Like, how did I get to this portion, when I wasn't feeling that way before? So, it is important to pay attention, but, it does take a lot sometimes to undo some of those things. Like I was talking with some friends about, like drinking, how a lot of us notice, like, okay, if I drink, like, it takes me like a day, maybe a day and a half to kind of feel like okay, and it's like, well, was it really worth the drinking? Like, that's when I go long periods without really drinking alcohol, then I'm like, oh, like, now I notice it's really impacting me when I drink. So having that issue with drinking, having the issue with just like all around just some stress, having some complications with just like, just trying to feel better, but then like having to deal with not feeling good, and it can be a complicated time, but for me, when I'm able to like look at certain stuff where I'm like, I wasn't having this problem at this time before or whatever, like doing things like snowboarding or going to concerts and dancing and stuff like that, where it's like I start noticing like, okay, this wasn't happening before. So I do have kind of like checkpoints, I guess, if you want to call them that, kind of checkpoints where I can say like what has actually been happening for me or with me, and then has it been helpful or not or whatever. But all right, so I think I might be done with recording this episode, but hopefully that helps some people out there, and thanks for listening.